What is up? All right, so this is going to be a first impression of Bleak Faith Forsaken. Now, I've played about 2 hours of this game so far. So, like I said, this is a first impression. This is not like a full review. Keep that in mind. A couple things about it. You need to make sure you set your frame rate here at 60 FPS. I went ahead and set my monitor. So if you don't know how to do this on Windows PC, you can right click on your desktop, hit display settings, and then drop down to the bottom down there on the bottom left, and you're going to see advanced settings. And then right there, you should see the setting to lock it to like 60 frames per second. Also, you can come here to the game at the beginning. So I'm going to exit to the main menu here for this. And we're going to wait for it to load up. Hopefully it goes to the option setting. Any key to continue. You got settings right here. Video graphics. So right here, FPS. It is recommended not to go over 90. I put it to 60. I don't think you're going to see that much of a difference between 60 and 90. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. And then right here, you just save to apply. I played full screen, and then I dropped mine down to 1440p. DLS, it has a few options in here: balance, performance, ultra performance, quality, automatic, off. I put mine on quality. You do whatever you want. VSync, I turned mine on. Dynamic resolution, I turned that on. You can leave it off if you want. Resolution scale, right here, it's going to change the rendering resolution without like changing the window size. I left it on 1. Field of view, I bumped mine all the way up to 80. I think by default, I want to say it was at 60. That is personal preference. I kind of like the wider field of view. Camera distance, I left at 0. Gamma, I left at 2.2. Audio, this was actually a little bit lower. I bumped mine up to 0.75. You can adjust this. All this stuff right here is user preference. So keyboard, mouse. Now this is excuse me, I hit the mic there. This right here, I have changed quite a few things on the button layout for the mouse and keyboard. With this, most notably, like lock on. I think this was maybe Alt, like your left Alt button, and I changed it to Tab, and then or maybe Cap locks and then Tab. That's again user preference, but if you're looking for I'm going to throw this out there a lot because it's a game that I play a bunch of, and it's going to be Elden Ring. If you're looking for that sort of button layout, there are going to be some things that you're going to need to change. This game doesn't rely on iframes, so if you're used to that type of combat for like parrying and stuff, something to take into consideration. But as far as like the keyboard and mouse layout, it's definitely something you're going to want to mess around with. Now, I did stream for about an hour and 20 minutes, something like that. And I will link that video in the description. You can go in there and look at it, and you can see what I did like throughout the game, because I was just trying to get a feel for it. And I will have a longer review of the game once I put in probably about 10 hours. So probably like in 3-4 days, something like that. But definitely come in here and adjust your keyboard and mouse to your liking. Now, it does have gamepad controls, so if you want to use like a controller, you will, I think, need to disable Steam input. And in order to do that, I'll just link a tweet where I showed someone how to do it. Someone asked, but basically you just right click on the game, go to properties, and then you're going to have a controller, and then you'll have a drop down menu where you can select disable Steam input, and that is actually something that is recommended. User interface is disabled, so if you don't want the HUD, I think it's automatic, so it'll pop up like when you're in fighting. I just put it to always. Of course, UI scale, if you want it larger or smaller, you can adjust that. Chromatic aberration, you can turn this on or off. Floating HUD on or off. Floating damage text on or off. which basically going to be like the health bar above the enemy or whatnot. Let's see, anything else in here? I think that's pretty much it as far as like settings go. And then I'll just give you a brief look at the combat. Like I said, it doesn't rely on iframes and stuff. So the combat here is more simplistic. Some people may not like that. Again, don't hold it against the game. It's just the way the game is designed. So I'll show you the menu real quick. So you're going to have your UI here. You can see some of the like helmets and stuff that you can apply. You can equip, destroy, etc. Over here on the left, you got tabs to see like your inventory and stuff. Like, I've got this rags helmet, some of the different armor. You got some rings and stuff that you can apply. Let's just go to equipment here. You can see here I have this amulet here. I have this ring right here. You got pauldron. I got my chest armor. I've got my my pants or whatever. I got stalkers. You got some gloves. You're gonna have some different weapons here. You can go ahead and equip that. Like we'll say secondary or primary offhand. If you want to have like a shield or whatever, you could equip that. And we'll just do like secondary offhand. Again, we'll come over here and you see like my offhand stuff here. We'll just go ahead and apply that. Come over here to equipment. Of course, you're going to have some, elixirs, whatever you want to refer to them. You got one for health here, one for like stamina. You get the idea. Basic setup here. Of course, as you progress in the game, you'll notice there on my back how I have my wooden shield there, and then my main hand is going to be my saber or my sword. And then, you see like the attack power. This actually gives me a plus 3% attack power. Character, you're going to have all your strength and agility and intelligence, constitution. One thing about this, like other than perks, like your attributes are going to be like weapon bound. So like as you progress, you will find weapons that will boost up your attributes and your strength. It isn't like, I got like, attribute points I'm going to put into strength. It's going to be determined on what weapon you have, or at least that's what I think I've done so far. Like I said, I've only got, a little under 2 hours into it, and this is a first impression of that. So this is not a review. So keep that in mind. You got some abilities here. You do have some crafting. When you find stuff, you can come in here. Like you can just hold down the E key. And as you can see here, I'm crafting some lesser restorative fluid. It's going to give your health. In the early game, you can drink one of these and basically boost up your entire health here. But again, you're going to have some abilities and perks and stuff like that. You can see demos of these, so you can hit Q. And then right here, it's going to show you what the ability does. And that's like the dash. And you just back out. I don't have this unlocked, so I'm not able to actually equip it yet. I guess this is something that I will get later on. With that said, I'll just show you real quick what the gameplay. You can watch my stream if you want to see it. I'll pull out my weapon there. You got the block, stuff like that. For like parrying and stuff. I'll lock on to this guy. We'll fight him. Oh. Pretty simple there. You see, you can hold F to loot. I may have changed that. I don't remember. But yeah, combat is simplistic. The world, I love the world. Like I love the feel of it. Yeah, you see it's kind of blurred out there. And then as you see there, it's blurred. And then as I come over, it like unblurs it. Because you don't need to load all this asset in. Like what's way over there doesn't really matter, and it's probably so to keep it from, so you have like a smoother experience. But you got to explore the world in order to find weapons and stuff to upgrade. You do have some destructible stuff here. Of course, you can, roll and stuff like that in the game to, I don't remember what I set mine to. I have it left alt. So, you know, if you kind of want that, you have like the walk button there. And I changed mine, so I don't remember what it is. But, you know, if you want that Demon Souls type system of like rolling through stuff. One thing I've noticed people complaining about the controls being janky, feel like they go too far. That's because they have their frames, like their FPS set way too high. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, put it at 60, lock it there. You should be good. With that said, this is Bleak Bleak Faith Forsaken, excuse me. It is $29.99. Right now it's 10% off until I think the 17th. You can get 10% off, so it'll be like $26. Do I recommend it? So far, from what I've played, yeah, it's something new, fun. Is it perfect? No, not by any means. But, you know, this is one of those games where you're going to get it, and over time, it's just going to get better and better, I feel. I feel like the developers are passionate about it. It's one thing that's missing from a lot of games nowadays, especially big budget ones, where it just feels like their goal is monetization and, you know, making a better game. They don't care about, like, there's very few No Man's Sky type games, Elden Ring type games. You know, Elden Ring, I guess, would be big budget. No Man's Sky would be more of the small developer, like indie developer type. So, you know, that's what this company is. I think there's 3 developers maybe working on it. And as they, you know, maybe expand on the team, they will improve on, you know, some of the things in the game. You know, add features. It seems like they are receptive to feedback as far as, like, you know, adding things to the game. And there are some bugs. I'll show you one right here. Just not, I don't think this is like a bug, but let's come in here to, where was it at? Equipment, and then we can just click on, maybe it was backpack, and then it was the, I think it was the abilities, perks, abilities right here. You can click on this, and I'll just show you right here what I mean by that. When I click on it, I hit Q, and you see video preview missing. So that's just an example of like a bug that's going to be in the game, you know. And then a thing to keep in mind too, is a PC game. Everybody's PC is going to be different. Your PC may not be as beefy as mine, so, you know, maybe you have a different experience with it. Maybe, you know, combat, maybe you're more skilled than me with the mouse and keyboard, so you might get through areas more easily than me. Maybe you figure out stuff quicker than me, or maybe I figure out stuff quicker than you. You know, take that with a grain of salt as far as combat goes if you watch my stream. And then as far as like performance goes, I feel performance is okay. I haven't had any crashes. I haven't noticed anything really too, I see a lot of people kept throwing around the word jank. I haven't seen that. Overall, I like what I've played so far. Very minimal. Like I said, it's a first impression. You know, I give it a thumbs up. It's definitely, you know, worth a shot. You know, I mean, there are definitely worse games you can get for $30. You know, but hey, spend your money the way you want. You know, my opinion is if you want to wait for something to be more optimized, maybe a little bit, maybe wait a couple months and then come back to this, you know, throw it on your wish list and then come back to it 2-3 months from now, and maybe they'll have some of the things that people are experiencing. Controller support, I think, is one. If you're someone that doesn't want to use keyboard and mouse, which, you know, I feel like it's made for that, as every PC game should be, which that's not always the case. You know, maybe wait a little bit, but for now, I think it's perfectly fine. If you have questions or comments, feel free to leave that down below. Hopefully you found this helpful. I'm out. Peace.